How do we use our homes in a creative way? Typically, your home is going to be your biggest expense. But my co host Lauren and I, we have both turned our primary home into a furnished rental. There's many strategies where we can use our home as an asset or we can use it to create extra cash flow. So that's where the creativity comes in.
Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network with me and the Vivatude team. Now you get to meet our financial and occupational wellness host, Kate Phillips. Kate, welcome to Answers for Elders.
Thank you, Suzanne. Delighted to be here.
I'm delighted to talk to you too, because obviously financial and occupational wellness is a huge category when it comes to family caregiving. That's why I wanted to kind of save you for last, because in many ways, all of these other realms of physical wellness, emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, social wellness, all of these things come back into this financial and occupational wellness, because I think those are the places where if you've given up your life for other people, those things go by the wayside, I think the most impactful. They're the ones that are the resulting, effects. So, Kate, tell us a little bit about what is financial and what is occupational wellness. You call it two different things.
Purpose and prosperity, I call it. And we are just, with what you were just saying, we're looking at the bottom of, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're looking at the basics, how is it that we are funding our lives? What are we doing with our time that is hopefully bringing in the resources that we need? Of course, I like to call it purpose and prosperity, the financial and occupational wellness. And if I added a third word, especially for caregivers, I think it would be creativity. And we might not be feeling super creative when we're caregiving and we feel, maybe depleted. But what I find is that sometimes when, we're the sandwich generation, and sometimes when that pressure comes on us, it's amazing what can be created. Suzanne, you started Answers for Elders when you were caregiving your mom.
If you see a job, it's yours.
If you see it, just yours. I started writing. It was a great fit for me. Instead of building my business the way I had been, I also love the conversations around how do we use our homes in a creative way. Typically, your home is going to be your biggest expense. But my co-host Lauren and I, we have both turned our primary home into a furnished rental. There's many strategies where we can use our home as an asset or we can use it to create extra cash flow. So that's where the creativity comes in. And my guests and I will be exposing our listeners to some new and fresh ideas besides typical financial planning.
And, when you think about it, it's like when you and I did a show a while ago, and by the way, Kate's color, everyone, is gold, of course, for financial. So the thing is that when we look at a typical caregiver, number one, they oftentimes are spending more money out every year because of caregiving expenses. And you talked about that a little bit in segment one. But I think the other piece of it is that, like you said, they're not taking promotions. They're not moving themselves forward in their career, even if they have opportunities, because they have these responsibilities. And I know for me, that's what happened to me. I had to basically deny my boss at the time to say, you cannot have family medical leave. And here my mom was in intensive care and needed me. I had to go. And so there's a lot of times that we talk about in the whole occupational wellness side of, how do we best not only serve our loved ones, but most importantly, how do we take care of ourselves in the process?
Yes.
And I think that's the piece when we talk about, number one, having a mission, and are you doing your purpose in this world? Because a lot of times maybe we're not. We're just in a 9 to 5 job. We're not necessarily dealing with that.
Yes. And it can involve boundaries. It can involve negotiation. It involves asking for help. We might be asking help from our employer. We could be asking it from family members or from other people who can help us get the breaks that we need, who can help support us as caregivers.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, obviously, with the team and just talking to all of you as a team, there's a lot of crisscross that you guys have. Like when I remember I did an interview with Kate, I was saying, all of this financial stuff, it was also because I felt depleted spiritually. It was a spiritual issue. I wasn't opening myself up to opportunities that would come up, and I tended to pull in. So we talk about the fact that I cut myself off from my circle of friends. And I had people sometimes say to me, "How can I help?" And I didn't even know how to answer that question. And I think one of the things that's really powerful about that is I know now what I would answer that as is, you know what? You can help bring joy to my life. I need someone that I can laugh with, that I can cry with, that I can connect with, that if I want to vent about my mother, when I go for a walk around the block, Tracy, I can move my body and I can get out of the situation and I can take care of myself. And I think that's the biggest piece. And so for those of you, we're very excited that to be going off on this journey. We hope you will join us on Vivatude on YouTube. You can also go on our website on vivatude.com. And thanks for listening. 4 hosts, 1 each week. We help you revivitude your next chapter because purpose, passion, and prosperity isn't out there. They're already within you. Brighter, bolder, truer. Vivatude.